on unpopular topics. Waiting on some of y'all to get up in here. It is 6 o'clock Pacific time in Los Angeles. How y'all doing today? I hope everybody is doing good on New Year's Eve. If I don't see you, Happy New Year. Happy New Year's Eve, or whatever you want to say. But so today I wanted to go over, and I saw this the other day. President Jimmy Carter, his name is James Carter, but we call him Jimmy Carter, died. He was the 39th president of the United States. And I saw when I did, once they updated the White House for his biography, I did see today when I researched a New York Post, a New York Times article on him too. But let's go over the one at the whitehouse.gov because, you know, that's like the legitimate one. So the biography for President Jimmy Carter. Hey, Xavier. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. I'm going over President Jimmy Carter, who passed away. Also, he's the 39th president of the United States. How you doing today? Happy New Year's Eve and Happy New Year. I'll be on here tomorrow, but just wanted to say Happy New Year, just in case I didn't see you. But the biography for President Carter and past presidents is courtesy of the White House Historical Association. This is from the whitehouse.gov. Jimmy Carter served as the 39th president of the United States from 1977 to 1981. He was awarded the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize for work to find peaceful solutions in international conflicts, to advance democracy and human rights, to promote economic and social development. Did anybody get a chance to live in that time? I had just been born 1977, honey, so I can't say. But because I was born in 1977 and he was the president from 1977 to 1981. Leave me a comment if you had any experience with him, if you lived during his presidency. I would love to know. How was he as a president? I want to do more research on him to see what type of person he was. Jimmy Carter aspired to make government competent and compassionate, responsive to the American people and their expectations. His achievements were notable, but in an era of rising energy costs, mounting inflation, and continuing tensions, it was impossible for his administration to meet these high expectations. Now, y'all know anytime somebody is the president, they inherit whatever the last president did, child, because y'all know what Kamala Harris and them trying to do, and Biden administration and them is trying to do right now, while Trump is trying to get in there. They just let it be, let the dust settle, and ease on out. Child, okay, I don't know. Anyway, Carter, who has rarely used his full name, which I just told you his name was James Earl Carter Jr., was born October 1st, 1924 in Plains, Georgia, and that's where he died. I remember seeing the article. Peanut farming, talked of politics, and devotion to the Baptist faith were mainstays of his upbringing. Upon graduation in 1946 from the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, Carter married Rosalind Smith. The Carters have 3 children, John, James, and Donald, and a daughter, Amy. After 7 years serving as a naval officer, he returned to Plains, Georgia. In 1962, he entered the state politics. 8 years, he was elected governor of Georgia. Okay. And y'all know Georgia's red. I already told y'all that. Hey, y'all. Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm talking about Jimmy Carter, a.k.a. James Earl Carter, the president that passed away on the 29th of December. Also, was it the 29th? I think it was the 29th. Yeah, I think I saw it the day that I was on the plane on my way to the airport. Carter announced his candidacy for presidency in December 1974 and began a 2-year campaign that gradually gained momentum. At the Democratic Convention, he was nominated on the first ballot. He chose Senator Walter Mondale of Minnesota as his running mate. Carter campaigned hard against President Gerald F.R. Ford, debating with him 3 times. Carter won by 297 electoral votes to Ford's 241. Carter worked hard to combat the continued economic woes of inflation and unemployment. By the end of his administration, he could claim an increase of nearly 8 million jobs and a decrease in the budget deflation. That's good. Uh, Measured in the numbers of gross national product. Unfortunately, inflation and interest rates were at a near record high, and efforts to reduce them caused a short recession. Carter could point to a number of achievements in domestic affairs. He dealt with the energy shortages by establishing a national energy policy and by decontrolling domestic petroleum prices to stimulate production. He prompted government efficiency through civil rights reform and proceeded with deregulating of the trucking and airline industries. He sought to improve the environment. That's really good. I'm glad that he did something about the to increase human and social services. He created the Department of Education, bolstered the Social Security system, and appointed record numbers of women, blacks, and Hispanics to government jobs. Well, that's good. The foreign affairs, Carter set his own life, his own style. His champion of human rights was coldly received by the Soviet Union and some other nations in the Middle East. Through the Camp David Agreement of 1978, he helped bring amity between Egypt and Israel. That's what that article was about. The one in New York. I was just telling you guys, make sure you give me a like and make sure you guys subscribe. Let me see. There were several setbacks. However, the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan caused the suspension of plans for ratification of the SALT II Pact. The seizure of the hostages. Let me see. That's for the end. Iran finally released the 52 Americans the same day Carter left office. That is so good because that's the article I'm about to read to you guys. They just released this article, the New York Times, an hour ago. He saved our lives is what is, and I'm gonna have it in the comment sections. I did a school essay on this, and my teacher was, I can get, oh. That's shameful. You know, people in their politics, child, we never know what we gonna get. So this is from the New York Times about an hour ago, y'all. He saved our lives. Former hostages recall Carter's quest to free them. The Iran hostages crisis became a symbol of a failed presidency, but some of those who lived it, Jimmy Carter was one who brought them home at the expense of his own political career. So that's good. He helped get people home. Former President Jimmy Carter in the center, which this picture right here, I'm probably can use that as a little thumbnail and whatnot with me in there. But baby, people love you. They love the president when they bring people home, okay? He's in the center with some of the Americans who were taken hostage by Iran in 1979. Mr. Carter met with the hostages in West Germany after their release on January 21st, 1981. So this is by Peter Baker. He's reporting from Washington in the New York Times. As they sat locked in the same room, day by day, week after week, month after month, listening to Deaf to American, chance and wondering when the bullet might come. The 52 American hostages being held in Iran had no idea what President Jimmy Carter was doing or if he even cared. All they knew was he hadn't not gotten them out yet. Only later, after the handcuffs and the blindfolds came off, after the plane carried them out of Iranian airspace, after the threat of show trials and similar expeditions. So it took the hostages 40. They was held hostage for 444 days to realize how much Mr. Carter had done and how consumed he had been with freeing them. Of all the people around the world mourning the death of Mr. Carter at the age of 100 this week, few said he changed their lives. Direct consequences with these people. You know they gonna thank him, honey, because they could have lost their lives. There's no doubt about in my mind that if it weren't for President Carter, I don't think I would be here. Barry Risen, 80 years old, the press attaché of the embassy during the takeover, and in an interview from his home in New York, he took the slings and arrows, outrageous fortune on his behalf. And don't y'all think that's awesome when a president just like try to get people out of hostile situations like that? They could have lost their lives. They wouldn't even be here to tell it, like he said. And this article goes on and on and on about the history of the Iran hostage crisis situation. What do y'all think about that? How do y'all feel about presidents? First of all, I know like Trump, he don't want no war, but all presidents have war. And I think it's so important when they actually take the time out to get Americans out of those situations. Because Americans, we have U.S. embassies all over the United States and all over the world. And we have people working there, and we have all type of trade deals and negotiations with other countries. We have Americans working in other countries doing stuff. So it's important for us to stay intact and not be having enemies with everybody. Like it seemed like since I've been here, the Democratic Party always wanted war, always wanted war. Not saying that the Republican presidents like George Bush and all of them didn't have wars either, but I think what I'm saying is everybody, they kind of handle stuff differently. I wasn't alive when Jimmy Carter I was just 1977 was when I was born. So I was only 4 years old when he got out of office. So I really don't know, what he did. But I think that's great that he tried to save some people's lives. What do you guys think about that? The guy he said to Rodney Sickman enclosed is a photograph of us together in I want to say West Baden, the day after you were released from imprisonment. This was one of the happiest days of my life, and I wanted to share the memory of it with you in this way. Best wishes, Jimmy. That is so good. I think that is great that he did that. If you guys know anything about President Jimmy Carter, James Earl Carter, which is his name, leave a comment down below and I'll do some more research on him. He also ordered a military rescue attempt in April of 1980, but the mission failed when a helicopter crashed into a plane in the Iranian desert, leading the death of 8 Marines and airmen. After more months of stalemate, Americans who initially rallied behind Mr. Carter turned on him, and for that and not reasons, they elected Ronald Reagan in November. Through all that, the hostages waited and worried. Some were beaten, some were subject to mock executions. All were cut off from the outside world. I can imagine being a hostage somewhere. As much as I travel in a lot of the places that have a lot of stuff going on, I really appreciate when I'm in a travel group and they do extensive research and I do my own research, because all you have to do is get on this good here internet and look at trip advisories from all over the world when you're going traveling, to make sure that you're going somewhere safe, or the conditions are where you can, it's not no terrorism going on in that country. I always do my own research, and you do your own research too. Don't leave your life in the hands of nobody else. Always research where you going. I want to say, I think we was coming from Panama in October, and they had trip advisories everywhere at the U.S. Customs. When you come from out of the country, you have to go through the customs and get back into the United States. Thank God for global entry. It's $100 with TSA pre-check for 5 years. I wasn't standing in that line, honey. That line, them people was in that line for 3.5 hours. I was at home, showered, and in my bed in them 3.5 hours. Honey, I was not waiting on you. It's $100 for 5 years. Why would I be waiting on you, honey? You could get on the internet and do an initial application. Honey, they give you an initial approval online. You just show up. It ain't even a 15-minute. It ain't even 15 minutes, and you out of there. They send you your stuff in the mail, and you goody. And you have your travel travel number that you could put attached to, your whatever airline you fly with. But I'm glad that he got them out of there. The hostages understood something had happened when the rescue mission failed, because suddenly they were moved and dispersed. So people in hostage situations, when somebody's trying to capture them and it fail, they get moved again and they get moved again. So they kind of shift them around. I'm just going by stuff I don't saw on TV. It's not my experience, but I've seen it on TV and different ways. And they're saying it right here in this article that they moved them once the attempt, when the American troops was trying to save them, they moved them because they knew Americans was coming to get at them. But I'm glad that he did do some good, and some people had some good to say about him. Yep, so I'm glad that is Jimmy Carter. His, people came out and represented for him the good that he did. That's all I had today, you guys. I'm finna go and get me some food to eat, because I'm not staying on here no hour like I did yesterday. We was talking yesterday, and I hope you guys go back and look at those live streams. I want to do some updates, y'all. My computer is so slow. I'm still waiting on some stuff that's 4K. I got to get a new computer, because I've been waiting on this stuff all day. It's saying 7 minutes, but honey, it's been 7 hours. Okay, I need my videos to upload. I don't know. Trying to do them in 7K is, I need to get a new computer. So that's going to be my goal. I'm going to have to go on, break bread and get that right there, because I need these videos to get up, and I don't want them to be in, not 4K, and I filmed them in 4K. So that's all I had today, guys. We'll talk later tomorrow, same time, 6 o'clock. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on Popular Topics. Bye.